Okay, today's video we're going to start out with a how-to. We want to show you how we make like hanging guts and stuff. You know, that you have to walk through. They got it at knots. You know, the stuff that you have to push through the organs, the entrails and stuff. It's really gross. Cool effect. You know, and it's just like gives people more anxiety when they're going through and everything. And I'm going to show you the supplies that you're going to need for it.
Starting out,
you're going to need rope. First of all, you can get that at Home Depot.
Very cheap. It's like $5.
$5. Get like a cup or a can or something. Paintbrushes, different sizes. Red paint, gloss preferably. Liquid latex.
That is a big bottle, and that's about $35 for that.
Yep.
It's gonna do a lot. We're not gonna need nearly that much to finish off the rope. It's plenty.
And finally, tissue or toilet paper. Now, this is gonna be basically to give it more texture. You can get in close. This is gonna be to give it texture and stuff. You're gonna wrap that. We'll show you that in the video. But here it goes. Okay. Step one. You're going to cut your rope in, you know, just however long you want it. It's pretty much, there's no right way to do it, it's just whatever you desire. We cut different lengths. The last one's like a little bit longer, so we can have different, because obviously it doesn't need to be all symmetrical, because it's supposed to be messy and gross. But you just want, make sure you stretch it on the table, just get a few, you know, so you have a couple to work with. Step two is you're going to take your liquid latex, put a little bit into a cup, just pour a little bit, just a little bit right there. Next thing you're going to want to do is I add a little bit of the red gloss paint to the mix of the liquid latex. I just spray just a little bit in there just to do that.
It's actually very significant. It's good for, you know, a couple different, you know, things.
It mixes it up, gives it a nice texture. Mix it around in there.
Gives it a good texture, a good color, and it actually, you know, it makes it hold.
Well, because they're both
more, right?
like they have like adhesives and stuff, so they bind themselves together. Step three, after you're done mixing it, you're going to want to start applying it like this, just painting it on, the liquid latex.
Get a little closer, you can kind of see.
That. I'm doing it with a small brush right now. I'm going to do it with a big one, but I'm just doing it right now. This one, brushing it on a bit. Because you're going to do multiple layers of this. You're going to do this layer, and there's going to be more. There's going to be many layers to come, so, you know, just be patient with it. Next thing you want to do is you want to wrap it with the tissue or the toilet paper, and you're going to paint the latex onto that as well. Trevor's actually doing that right now. You're just going to paint it on, dab it on, and it's basically going to give it a different kind of texture and stuff. As you can see, when you look at it, you know, you got the different like thickness in certain places, because obviously guts are not necessarily consistent. It's very messy and gross. You want that look. Like this one in particular is very like lumpy all the way around. And you're going to put the tissue around, you're going to want to wrap it really tight, and then you're going to paint this on. The liquid latex is going to act as a binding agent. It's going to pretty much stick it to the rope, stick it to itself, because it is wet. So once it's on the tissue and stuff, it's, you know, you pretty much can't get it off. And now we play the waiting game. Once all the toilet paper and everything is on there wrapped and you have it painted, you kind of just have to wait, because this stuff says it dries in 5 to 10 minutes, but unfortunately when you do it on this, it takes a little bit longer. So it's gonna be a little bit of time before it actually is fully dry. Not to mention we have to flip it over and do other coats. The next thing we're actually gonna do another how-to on modifying the head. We told you we were gonna do that in another video, so we're gonna do that next. Now we got them laying out in the garage, because it's dark out, so we had to bring them in so they can dry. Next step you're going to do is you're going to want to spray it red once it's all dry and everything. I did a light coat just because I'm going to add more coats, but I'm letting like the first coat set in and everything with the latex. As you can see, it's much, I mean the texture and everything, if you can get that, it's just very, you know, very gross and just, you know, nasty, clumpy looking. I mean, it gives it a really great effect. And I know that this is the way they do it at the backwoods as well, that maze. I found out that they do a very similar style for their guts, their organs that you have to walk through. But once you put the paint, you're going to do probably like 1 or 2 coats of that. And the next thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do the how-tos on modifying the heads. Next up, I'm going to show you how to modify just your everyday severed heads if you want to make them look cooler and gorier for your maze. If you're like me and you want realism, I'm basically going to show you how to do both these. I got this one at Party City, and I think I've used this head 3 times now. This guy's in the gory trash cans. If you've watched our videos, you know, from last year we had like 2 of them. I'm going to show you how to do him, and then I'm going to show you this guy too. He's also one you can find in like an everyday Halloween store. We got this one actually at Spirit. You know, these are generic heads. They're cool. They're pretty good. They're fairly realistic. I mean, I've seen much worse. This is good. This is latex. This is latex, and there's it feels like there's actually a harder base inside. But you know, they're pretty still pretty generic and stuff on realism. So I'm going to show you guys how to basically modify them. Step 1, you're going to want to get a box cutter. Depending on what you're working with. I think this guy's going to take something a little bit harder. But I'm going to show you the best tool that you want to use for whatever you're cutting. This should be easy for this guy, so I'm going to do him first, and I'll see what I need to use for him and everything. But the first thing you're going to want to do is take your box cutter and cut whatever you want to do to whatever kind of wound, or you know, anything, like if you want to cut something on his cheek or down behind his ear. I'm going to focus probably more over here on his brain, so I can do brains because they're very easy. I might gash out an eye, we'll have to see. But you're going to want to take the box cutter and just cut whatever wound you can. You don't have to be super, you know, straight about it. Like, it doesn't have to be, you know, perfect, because there's going to be other things that are going to go on it. You're going to need air dry clay, also handy, and Great Stuff insulation foam, and also obviously red paint. And also, if you're like me, I recommend getting black paint as well, because I mix both, and as you guys know, our blood is very dark and realistic, so you're going to want to get both those colors too. Alright, so this is the first guy. I decided to take out his eye and the top right here. Just like a piece, you know, so it looks like that. It was like an incision kind of scar, sort of like that. I mean, if you want to make it extra violent and realistic, cut out the eye in that. And the next guy, I think I'm going to probably have to take something a little more heavy duty than this. I may have to take a saw. But, I mean, it's whatever you guys can take. I mean, you just want to make sure you can take something that can cut through it. This is, like you can see right here, this is just foam. So a box cutter will work fine because it's just latex on foam. And this guy, I think I'm going to cut possibly either this eye out, so he just has no eyes, or I might add something to him, but I'm still going to figure it out. Alright, for him, I actually decided to cut off his lower jaw. I mean, I don't necessarily recommend this if you're a beginner. I mean, this is obvious. That's why I'm doing 2 heads, because this one's a little bit easier. It's just the top and an eye. You know, this is a little bit more difficult. Like I said, I had to use this saw to do it. It's kind of an odd. It's actually plastic covered in latex, and then I actually pulled off this part as well to make this one giant gash. I'm gonna put stuff over that, so it's gonna look much different once it's all finished. But this is basically the wounds that I'm going to do on him. The lower jaw is missing and that's missing, so it's completely just ripped off and everything. You know, and it's going to add to it and everything. Right now it obviously looks like nothing, but once it all comes together, it's going to look very gory and very detailed. Step 2 is application. You're going to take the Great Stuff foam, and you're going to be just applying it to this. I recommend that you wear gloves so you can actually smear it in, because there is going to be a lot. This stuff does expand. Make sure you get this. It's the red one. It's the red can, gaps and cracks, because they do have ones that expand really big, and you want kind of just the moderate ones. So I recommend that you just wear gloves so you can smear it in and everything as it does it, because you just dab it when you put it in. Alright, so as the insulation foam sets, I give you guys a little look into it. And then there's this one over here. Did his mouth right there, full of it. And you just want to let that set for just a second. It starts expanding pretty quick though. As you can see, that was very thin at the beginning. It's already getting that big. And if it gets too big, again, just wipe it with your finger with a glove or something, just to, you know, dab it down. Step 3 is air dry clay application. You're going to want to take this, roll it around in your fingers. Just want to get a little bit on whatever you're going to do. I'm about to roll some to make it look like just like, you know, guts and like just stuff is falling out of his head, maybe a little bit out of his eye too. And same with his jaw. I want to make it look like his jaw just falling apart like that. That's why I'm using the clay, so it hardens, because it'll be a little more sturdy for, you know, just like for what the purpose is, because it kind of needs to be able to withstand it, because the insulation foam is very very thin, and it when you poke it, it breaks and stuff, because it is just foam. So this is a very good alternative to the insulation foam. Here is the clay. So as you can see, I took that gash and I put the clay all the way around it like that, molded it in with my fingers. There was like a string stub right here, and I covered that with just a little bit of clay there. And I don't recommend this for beginners, but I want to mimic this. Actually, I'll show you first. This is a Jawless Jane. I've shown that in previous videos, and I was just trying to mimic that a little bit in this one by doing a tongue right here. And as you can see, it's just very gross right there. I put balls, you know, some like here up on the up above right here. And it was difficult to make the tongue because you don't want to make it too cheesy. You want to make it look very realistic. Do that all the way around, and that's as far back as I can go. And then this guy, he's got his, you know, just like stuff like the stalks of his eyes and everything just hanging out, brain matter just curled up like that and everything. And once that hardens and everything, you know, it's going to set in very nicely. I got a little bit on the table, and it's not coming off, and that's not even dry yet. But you know, it looks really good. You can be creative with it. There's no wrong way to do it, because it's messy. So there's no wrong way that you can do this. It can't look bad no matter what you do. So just go crazy with the clay. You know, just you want to use different kinds of textures. The crazier the texture, the better, in my opinion. Step 4 is going to be more insulation foam application, just around, just to like kind of touch up any places to kind of set the clay in. It'll set itself in, but you're going to want to like really cement it in as much as you can. Paint and everything is going to do this as well, but like I said, you know, you want to have as much as you can. You want to make this really permanent. I'm about to do it, you know, in some places on this as well. But you're going to want to use a glove for this and just kind of smear it on for the most part. You're not going to want to like use the actual insulation foam like that and everything. You don't want to do that. You want to smear it in with a glove. But you know, the insulation foam, it's and it goes a long ways too. This is still the same bottle and everything. You should still be on the first bottle. So step 5 is liquid latex. You're going to be painting that over all of the dried insulation foam. This guy's all scaled over, gross, tongue hanging out, you know, just like gory stuff in his mouth, really gross, good details. This guy's got this nasty, you know, gross like gunk in his eye, big opening in his head, just looks like all like gross. I did a little bit around the neck area too, because there was actually there's like a noticeable line right here that I wanted to get rid of. And you're going to want to just paint liquid latex over all the insulation foam. It's going to give it a very good texture, and it's also going to bind it with this, because these are both latex. Okay, time to play the waiting game. The next thing that you're going to want to do is get, you know, red paint and everything. I'm not going to be able to do that tonight because this takes a little while to dry. It says 5 to 10 minutes, but it varies depending on what you're doing, depending on how many coats you do, which I do a lot. I recommend you do 1, maybe 3 coats even, just like with a brush, just like a typical brush. You just use it. You want to get a nice even coat. Make sure you wipe any drips, because it will drip. And it will dry a little bit darker than that, but that's good, because you don't want it to be like a perfect color around there, because obviously around a wound it's going to be darker, bluer, and obviously red. But you want to make sure you get deep in there, and nice even coat all the way around. Don't, like, no drips. Wipe any drips away with some tissue or toilet paper. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing it with the red. Alright, that's going to do it for tonight. I'm going to show you the rest tomorrow. I'm going to paint once the latex dries for the 2 heads. I'll do that tomorrow. You get the general idea though. I wanted to give you a little bit of a how-to when we did that today, because, you know, that's the main thing we did today. Trevor actually left about halfway through it. He had to go, but that was the main thing. It's just, it is very time consuming. We are about 90% done with everything in the maze, and we'll have to give you a walkthrough like tomorrow or something, just to let you guys kind of see. But I'll give you one more quick look. The heads, that one, and then that one, and then this stuff right here. But, you know, tomorrow I'm going to finish painting it, and you guys can look forward to that. Hope you found it interesting. Any questions, you can just post a comment down there, because we're open to answering anything. You know, we wanna help you guys out. We like to show you how to do things because, you know, we're learning too and everything. And if we ask something, we want it to be answered. So feel free to ask because we'll definitely get to it. But I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'll see you later.